From the skies of Benue State, a serene and tranquil landscape unfolds, a breathtaking canvas painted with green fields, rivers, and lush forests. The view from above reveals nothing of the hidden, heartbreaking truth that unfolds on the ground, where countless people are silently battling humanitarian crises. Families are struggling with displacement, insecurity, and the harsh realities of conflict, their fights veiled by the peaceful surface. The skies may be calm and inviting, but the land below bears the scars of a hidden crisis, a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving and that compassion and support are needed to heal the wounds that remain unseen. In Benue State, a series of attacks by alleged herdsmen have left a trail of heartbreak and tragedy in their wake. According to some residents, the conflict began in 2008 at Guma and West local government areas of the state as a minor skirmish. The headless attacks on the farmers gradually proceeded beyond these two local government areas, and by January 2018, it had covered the entire Guma and several council wards in West local government area. Other local governments attacked include Agatu, Makode, Opoku, Logo, Ukum, Kwande, Kasinala, Saraka, Buruku, and Were East. Some residents say the attacks assumed a different dimension of a full-scale war of aggression, which has witnessed the use of sophisticated weapons by the rampaging herders and leading to the death of farmers, destruction of farm produce and farmlands, and eventually their means of existence. The echoes of these attacks still resonate in the collective memory of the people.
But because of the friendly herdsmen, we have parked here for about 10 years, and now we are in Jatoka. I'm a student of Government Science Secondary School and Yase. Now we are parked to Jatoka, and we are doing practical at now. Because of the herdsmen, I'm writing my final year examination. While I'm here now, I'm doing my practical here in this town. Many of my brothers have died because of these herdsmen. I don't know where they went. I don't know where they are now. Many people of over my brother, even my relatives, have lost many.
We are actually from that Government Science Secondary School here. So we were displaced by the friendly herdsmen. And then we moved completely to this place and then are managing in this apartment. Then we have about 15 chemistry students and started preparing them right from JS1 up to SS3.
Picture moonlit nights, once symbols of tranquility, now punctuated by cries of anguish and fear. Families huddled together in terror, recounting stories of their homes, their livelihoods, and their loved ones ravaged by violence. Communities that had flourished for generations, where neighbors were like family, now scared by loss and pain.
We went to our farms more and go back to the Daudu, because we can't stay here. So due to the problem of landing crisis, hungry is all over.
Before, I farmed this side and I farmed the other side. But because of the crisis, we now deviate from that side because of the fear. Even my cassava abandoned it here.
According to the International Organization for Migration, IOM, Nigeria's Displacement Tracking Metrics North Central Zone report published on 9 March 2022 puts the number of displaced persons in the state above 2 million. On the 26th July 2023, the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Dr. Matthias Schmiel, reveals that the humanitarian crisis in internally displaced persons IDPs camps in Benue State is worse than those in northeastern part of Nigeria, particularly Borno State, as a result of Boko Haram crisis. He stresses that the plight of internally displaced persons IDPs could not be overlooked because it is caused by farmers-herders conflict. But the displacements were primarily as a result of community-based conflicts between herders and farmers, communal clashes, as well as violent criminal acts and banditry.
The last set of displacement happened about 6 years ago, taking away 4 other years that, they will happen, people go back and then come back. So cumulatively over 10 years, but the last 6 years where people were displaced. And Benue at some point had over 24, 25, 28 camps. But as we speak now, we have camps that are categorized into 2. You have the official camps, what the state government would call official camps, and those were the last from SEMA were up to 9, and then you have unofficial camps that over 8. So that's a side host communities hosting displaced population. So you have local government, you have other communities hosting displaced population, and then you have camps where people are profiled called government camps, and then unofficial camps such as this, where government had given little or no attention at all. At the background, you would see that the issue of shelter, it's key. They had to invade this community by themselves when they had no attention by state government. So they invaded the space and created shelter for themselves. I remember that some persons would come to distribute nets to them. Why? Because they were sleeping in the open. But these nets were now used as material and converted into their own personal shelters, where they got sticks around and used their nets, and then leather bags, whatever would give shelter. But it's not proper because during raining seasons like this, when the rains come, the rains will flow into their sleeping space.
The effects of displacements on the affected rural communities in Benue State were found to include land grabbing and likely extinction of the rural communities, changes in the demographic composition of the rural communities, economic and political backwardness, illegal mining of mineral resources, among others.
In the last 8, 9, 10 years, a substantial part of Benue State has been sacked by the activities of herders. About 7, 8 local governments have remained sacked in the last 8, 9, 10 years. And this has created conditions for IDPs. A number of these people that have been sacked in their respective homes are in IDP camps. People living there, women, children, and the aged. they have been mostly affected by this crisis. Some women have had children in camp. Some men have, elderly people have died in camp. Children have not gone to school for as long as 8, 9, 10 years. My local government, particularly Benue West local government, half of that local government has been sacked for well over 9, 10 years. And it has really been really pathetic. And you can find all of this across the 7, 8 local governments I said have been sacked by the activities of headers. So that is the condition of internally displaced persons. The number is massive. The internally displaced persons are in their thousands, finding ways of survival. Some of their children the children of these IDPs have become destitute. Some of them have become beggars on the streets of Benue and elsewhere. Some of them have migrated to other parts of the state and looking for ways of survival.
These people often lack physical, economic, and social security as they face considerable humanitarian challenges, including exacerbated health risks, acute poverty, discrimination, gender-based violence, malnutrition, and a lack of socioeconomic amenities. In fact, those mostly affected by these attacks are the vulnerable groups in the rural areas, such as women, children, and the aged. These attacks, perpetrated by alleged armed headers, have not only stolen lives, but have also stolen the sense of security that should be a fundamental right. As the sun rises over these beautiful landscapes, it reveals not just the natural beauty, but the resilience of the people. Their stories are not just tales of sorrow, but also of courage and determination to rebuild their lives and restore their communities. The story of these communities is one of tragedy, but it's also one of hope, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of a people who refuse to be defined solely by the violence that has touched their lives. In the sprawling IDP camps of Benue State, where tragedy has displaced countless families, the human spirit is tested beyond imagination. Inside these tents and makeshift shelters, stories of suffering and resilience intertwine, painting a vivid picture of the terrible situations residents face every day. Families torn apart, children robbed of their innocence, and dreams shattered by the relentless brutality of conflict. Within these camps, the walls may be made of tarp and canvas, but they cannot shield against the harsh realities that residents endure. The nights are filled with the haunting echoes of distant memories, and the days are marked by the struggle for basic amenities. Yet, amidst these dire circumstances, there exists a glimmer of hope. The condition of these internally displaced persons, IDPs, who have remained in several camps in the state for more than 3 years, tend to be fast deteriorating, thus turning the camps into permanent nightmare centers rather than the temporal comforting zones.
The biggest challenge will be how the government will be able to raise finances to be able to address the challenges of IDPs. Like I said, these IDPs are in their thousands. And you know, even catering for those ones in the official camps took its toll on government. And now that you are going to even, of course, that is the right thing to do, because there shouldn't be official and unofficial camps. Why do you have official and unofficial camps? Because the IDPs are all in the same condition. They are facing the same challenges. So first and foremost, I commend the government of Benue State for resolving that there should be, all of them should become official camps. But for me, the challenge will be the resources to manage all of these camps. I'm sure the state government has done its homework, and they are sure that they will be able to provide medical care, provide food, and provide some of the things that the IDPs will need in the camp. But for me, that will be the major challenge.
Among them is Jennifer, a mother of one. She recounts the day they left everything behind. Jennifer is a strong woman in her early 20s, residing in one of the IDP camps in Daudu area of Guma due to the ongoing conflict between farmers and herders.
A very special day. So some herdsmen, Fulanis, came and attacked and killed my other brothers of mine. So we ran to the village to this place. We came, there were not even a tent here. We were sleeping at that tree that side before the government looked into the case and do a tent for us.
Jennifer reflects on the life she once knew as a farmer. Her eyes, although filled with sorrow, have a spark of hope that cannot be dimmed.
So we are staying here, but how to manage and get something is very hard for us. My mothers will go to the farm, go work for somebody, get money, so that we can get food and eat. Along the line, I got married to my husband, and we also stayed here. He goes out and farm and send something for me to eat. Still come and stay here with me, still go back and have the farm work there. And staying here, sometimes those things they are running inside. We could not stay here very nice, but with the crisis, we don't know what to do. So we are just staying here for now. But even characters in this place are not like the ones in my village. Very bad things are happening to this place, but we have to bear it because of the crisis.
Jennifer's spirit is unbroken, even in the face of the harrowing circumstances that brought her to the camp. As a young mother, her primary concern is her child's well-being, and she takes on this role with unwavering determination.
The school is there, quite okay, but the school is not for everybody. It's just for the children. It's not a secondary, so it's just for the children. And even the children, so they don't train them there very well.
Despite the challenges she faces in the IDP camp, Jennifer embodies the strength and resilience that define the people who find themselves in these difficult circumstances, while nurturing the hope of returning to the life they once knew.
We want to leave this place. This place is not good for us. So if we can have the opportunity to leave this place, we will be happy.
Escalating clashes between farmers and herders forced thousands to flee their homes, seeking refuge in crowded camps. Within the confines of the camps, a new community has emerged. Children continue to learn, and adults share their experiences, offering solace to one another. A camp leader speaks about the significance of unity.
In my own understanding, I say when there is crisis, government is supposed to come in and then gather the two together and try and settle the matter. That is my own. Because when the new government comes, the first thing the new governor did, he appointed the new years, which is the SEMA representative. Then the SEMA representative visit IGP, and he even promised us that we are going to go back to our warriors home. That is the promise he gave to us. And I show that there is heat really in our tents. And then our tents, some are being destroyed. But we keep on complaining to government and other NGO that our tent has problem. MSF, one NGO called MSF, came in and then amend some of our tents, but the other one are still spoiled. The MSF are here with you. They have their office here and they have clinic, they have water. They are the one that produce our water here. Yes, we want them to try. Let us go back to our.
This family found themselves thrust into a nightmarish ordeal when their beloved young son was kidnapped outside the safety of their camp. On that fateful morning, their world unraveled.
For cheap labor, where other people come, pick me to go and farm for them, make hips.
So how many, how large is the family?
Yeah, 7. Family of 7.
Before this displacement.
The mother's tearful pleas echo through the camp, a haunting testament to the fragility of life in such trying circumstances. The father, once a pillar of strength, was reduced to a trembling soul, consumed by guilt for not protecting his child. In the dimly lit tent they call home, they clung to fading memories of their son's laughter and the warmth of his hugs. The family's collective anguish served as a sobering reminder of the unyielding brutality that often overshadowed the bonds of love in a world plagued by uncertainty. Life within the camps is far from easy. Basic amenities and necessities are often scarce, and health concerns loom. An elderly man in his new home at the camp's makeshift shares his experiences.
I'm a Tiv man that was born and brought up in Nasarawa State. The border community between Nasarawa and Benue have had lots of attacks between the indigenous Tiv people in Nasarawa State, and it's because of some of those crises that I was displaced. Not just that, the displacement killed 5 of my family members, and the eldest man does not even have a grave because when they killed him, they took his body.
The farmer-headed conflict in Benue State has left countless lives in turmoil. Families left their ancestral homes, children uprooted from their schools, and elders separated from their communities. These are the faces of resilience in the face of adversity. Within these IDP camps, there's great need and also a human tide of compassion. Aid workers, volunteers, federal and state governments and other organizations are on the front lines, striving to provide food, shelter, medical care, and emotional support to those in distress.
People staying together like in one classroom, like more than 10 families. Even those who are staying in places like camps also having serious issues related to shelters. Besides also, we're receiving, as we are working with them closely, we're receiving also complaints about the food The state emergency management agencies doing their best, but the needs are huge actually, and the number is big, very big.
The institution of the IDPs is very, very poor, like I said at the start, because they are living like people who are not human beings. They have been reduced to a situation that is terrible. Not for any fault of theirs. Like I did say, some people have been displaced more than 3 times, some even 4 times. You run away from this village, the next time the other village that you are taking refugees in is attacked. So our foundation tried to give not only food support, or not only clothing support, or not only trying to provide shelter, we also try to give them psychosocial support, because they will need that. Otherwise, some people will run mad in the camps.
These camps are more than just temporary homes. They are symbols of hope. Yet, it's not a life without adversity. Overcrowded shelters, limited resources, and the emotional toll of displacement weigh heavily on those who reside here. But the spirit of resilience shines through the darkest days.
Biggest challenge is that there is no many NGOs, either locally or international NGOs who are operating there to cover the needs, the unmet humanitarian needs there. They have also challenges in terms of health, especially areas that we are not operating and we are not able to cover everything as the MSF. There is many needs and many challenges that the IDPs are really lacking.
This target group of people, the IDPs, need to be given special consideration. We need to look at the child now who is born in the IDP camp and say, in 10 years, what is the human capital index of this child that was born? And then begin to plan and develop strategies based on what we foresee would happen in the life of that child. So it places a lot of responsibility on government. It is government's responsibility to do those things. Of course, they can seek for help from everywhere, right? But to initiate it, it has to come from government, because government's sole responsibility is the security and the well-being of the people of that, of its governing area. So government has a huge role to play.
What role do we play in their journey? The crisis within Benue's IDP camps is a reminder of our shared humanity. It's a call to action and a testament to the strength of unity.
The truth is that the first IDP camps in Benue State were set up in the year 2001. This is what a lot of people don't know. It was set up by the Catholic Diocese of Makudi. The diocese was still very large. It contained Boko Diocese and Kasanala Diocese, as we have it today. Even Lafia Diocese are not gone out of the diocese yet. So it was run by Father Moses Yorapo. He's still living. There are 2 camps with thousands of people displaced. Then the people who helped so much were the CRS, Cali Relief Services, and also I think USAID. Now the people who have helped very much, the UNHCR have done tremendous work here. Maybe some agencies like the MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, and also the IOM, and maybe in some cases UNICEF. They have tried to do so much. In terms of trying to bring peace, because my organization, like I told you, also is a peace building organization. We've had sponsorship from Zero in Germany that has helped us to bring Fulani herdsmen and local farmers together to try to discuss ways in which they can both coexist. We've been doing this for some time now. In terms of quantifying the help we're giving, it is not, I can't quantifiable, because in a year, I don't know how many times we take food to the IDP camps. We take food, we take clothing, we take other supplies to the IDP camps.
But it's not all gloom. Among the stories of loss, there are stories of resilience and hope. Children playing, communities rebuilding, and the human spirit prevailing. In unity, we can help these individuals overcome adversity and rebuild their lives.
All these children are out of school. They are a sitting time bomb. Because when we carried out some therapy on these children, we found out that most of them carry a lot of resentment in their hearts. So even though we are fighting with external terrorists, we are probably grooming some internal terrorists that whose state of mind, let me put it like that, is being conditioned by the environment in which they find themselves, by the circumstances that push them into where they are. And you find out that if nothing is done about it, these children are growing with that mindset that they have been abandoned by the world, abandoned by government. Some of them even feel abandoned by their parents. Imagine the mindset of that kind of child. So apart from the regular education that we might organize, take teachers to go and teach them, we need to work on the mind of the children in the IDP camps. Very important.
Amidst the chaos, a call to action resonated. Civil society organizations, federal and state governments, selfless and dedicated, stepped into the breach. Within the IDP camps, NGOs, CSOs become the bedrock of support. These camps are more than just temporary homes. They are pillars of resilience.
Well, imagine a camp like this hosting over 9,000 households, and somebody bringing their best being 2 bags of rice or 3 bags of rice or a truck of rice. It's like a drop in the ocean. So for love and care is an issue of individuals, government, and humanitarian response organization to respond to the needs of these people. I just remembered something I did last 2 weeks where I gathered old toys from families whose children had grown those toys, and I brought them here. Amazing what the mental support that gives to children, because what they play with are toy guns that simply maintains the memory of displacement. So the children have special needs, the women, the men, and anything out there that will make them feel loved is welcome.
However, it's not a life without challenges. Overburdened resources, overwhelming needs, and the emotional toll of witnessing human suffering.
Despite all those statements and confirmations, Benue State is still not captured. And for us, it's a matter of concern, because we do not think that when it comes to the issues of the welfare of the people of a state, it should be politicized. It should not be about whether the governor of the state is in the good books of whoever. It's about the people of Nigeria who are suffering. Okay, but now we want the world to know that Benue State now has a humanitarian response plan, and that plan is available for anybody to access and see what the way forward is with Benue State. We are hoping that we can get attention from international community and the federal government focused on Benue State.
As we bear witness to their stories, let us remember that these individuals deserve dignity, security, and the chance to rebuild their lives. United for a brighter tomorrow.